Hello, hello, hello. So I want to be talking to you about Bitcoin. I'm going to make it extremely quick, guys. So the key thing is, where is Bitcoin going to go to? Currently, we're at around about that 20K, $21,060, as you see on the screen here. But I think we're going to keep heading more to the downside. And also, I want to mention a little bit about Tron. Now, just to let you know, we're going to do this in two parts. Usually we have our good friend AJ, who is alongside us and gives you all of that technical breakdown. And I usually cover some of the fundamentals. We're just going to split it up a little bit today. And I'm going to show you initially this little bit about Bitcoin. So like I said, AJ is going to get more into this. You can see this kind of candle close around here. And, you know, it's kind of different depending on which broker you use, because there was a lot of slippage and arbitrage back in the day, so the prices weren't always consistent. But anyway, this is looking at kind of some price targets, and like I said, AJ is going to get more into that, and where we might see a kind of a $15,000, maybe $16,000 range, based on a few different indicators. But just to quickly go through what's moving the market. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this. You know, most importantly, guys, let's not deny it. This is number one. This is the Fed rate monitor tool. You can get this yourself, investing.com, central bank / Fed rate monitor. I think this is just so important. You know, if you've seen any of my previous videos, which if you haven't, then go back and watch all of them. I absolutely demand that you do. But if you have, then you will have known that I am always kind of keeping up to date with this. This is a 50 basis point hike. This is what the market pretty much had guaranteed. 94% guarantee last week. That's probability, obviously. But this is what the market anticipated, a 50 basis point hike. CPI came in super high. Now the current possibility of a 75 basis point hike is now 98%. This is what the market is expecting, 75 basis points. And you know, previously the Fed have said we want to do what is expected by the market. So we're looking at a 75 basis point hike. That's coming later on today in 6 hours. I will be live and I will go through and show you exactly how the markets are going to react to that. But it is going to be the biggest rate hike that we've seen since 1994. And you can see this here. This is just a little overview. What's moving the market? So the ECB, European Central Bank, they have an emergency meeting, but everyone's eyes are looking at this rate hike that we're seeing here, biggest in 28 years. But I also want to talk about this. So USDD, USD. Let's have a look. I always think this has a slightly better, should we call it a indicator? That's absolutely not. So USDD. USDC. So for Wobi. So, okay, this is what I want to show you. And I'm on the weekly. I don't need to be on the weekly. Bring that down to the 4 hour. Here we go, here we go, here we go. So, it's not great. It's not great, guys. Sorry. I have bad news. This is USDD. This is Tron's stablecoin versus USDC, which is USDC, which is Circle's stablecoin on Huobi, and it's kind of losing its peg, and it has been losing its peg for the past 2 days. And now during this time period, we have seen Justin Sun try and say, "Yeah, guys, everything's okay. Don't worry. We're going to keep adding more into the reserves, and we are also going to then," which they just recently come out and said now, that they are going to pull 2.5 billion Tron from Binance as USDD slips further from the peg. Now, this is because they're worried about people shorting the Tron coin, which obviously, if people are shorting it, it's going down in value. One, their reserves get depleted, but also then two, if people start selling it, then you might end up with a similar death spiral because it is an algorithmic stablecoin, just like Luna. Now, sticking true to his word, as you see here, to safeguard the overall blockchain industry and crypto market. That sounds extremely familiar here, I was going to call him Do Kwon. Justin Sun. Do you know why it sounds so familiar? We've heard it. We have heard this from who? Celsius. We've also heard this from Do Kwon and the Luna team. You know, we're trying to keep everybody safe in the interest of our clients. You know, I don't know what these guys are going to do. Are they just going to stop people accessing their USDD, now. I don't know. But basically, everything's in the interest. But basically, what they're doing is they're taking tons of money, $2.5 billion off of exchanges so that there's less on exchanges. If you have less supply, if the demand stays the same, the price is going to go higher. That will hopefully liquidate some of the people who have short. So this is kind of like a little bit of manipulation, just taking it off of the market so people can't short it, which I don't necessarily agree with. But as you see here, these are all just to show you. We'll withdraw 2.5. Bomb, that's 500 million off. That's 339 million off. Open interest, and the reason why they've chosen Binance is look at the open interest. I assume most of this is short, and obviously they want to kind of make sure that people don't short it, because that obviously just pushes the price down. And then you see again, so nearly 1 billion there, and you can keep going through whale watch, 300 mil, 300 mil. So they are periodically taking it off. And so now, one thing that I do think is very good, I've always been skeptical about this burn. I do not think that you should, if you have a Tron burn wallet, that should not be part of your reserves, because then it's not a burn wallet. But they have upped their USDC recently. And so now they're sitting at $1 billion, which actually makes me feel really safe, because this, obviously, if they take things off of exchange, it might be okay. But this Tron, if it keeps getting shorted, will go very, very low. So they need to have that. And I think that's a very smart move, to be honest. I don't know how long they're going to keep that USDC there, but they're including this. Nope, they're including this, which I don't think they should. But they are now at that 300% collateral level, which is great. And finally, just going to end up Bitcoin miners to exchange flow. Bitcoin miners, there's just lots of Bitcoin flowing to exchanges from miners who typically hodl. This is a bad sign. It could lead to a bit of capitulation from the miners who, now are a little bit worried. Maybe their income is less. In fact, I know their income is less. And so as a result, might be wanting to sell some of their Bitcoin. But anyway, that's everything from me today. Make sure that you stay tuned at 10 p.m. tonight, my time, which is in Dubai. Basically, in 6 hours, I will be live, and we will see the actual rate be announced. And then in how long is it? In an extra 22 minutes after that, we will see Jerome Powell talking. So make sure that you stay tuned for that later on. And I hope that you have a good day. Watch out for the volatility. Be extremely careful, and trade safe. All right. Thank you.